You're watching Pyro Media Network.
Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. Alright, let's start the show.
Christian ain't good with forgiving, ain't turning my cheek, now I'm raising that pistol. Lord, forgive me. With all my breath, with all my strength, with all my pain, fighting this war. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. No turning back, 'cause I'm free.
Hey, spread the word to my people. Got a spirit fell on me, told me fight against the evil, not turn. Not turning, yeah. Fuck the sticks now, nigga, got burners. Hold up, hey, spread the word to my people. Got spirit fell on me, told me fight against the evil, not turner. We in the streets, now we all got burners. Hold up, hearing voices in my head say I need to be.
Oh, let me take off my glasses so I can see what I'm saying. Welcome to Dirty Laundry, the podcast with KO. Here we pull no punches and dive head first into the challenging conversations that our community needs to have. From economics, inner city violence, abortion, religious fanaticism, and of course, white folks and everything in between. We tackle the issues that shape the Black experience with honesty, courage, and a vision for growth. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Some conversations are going to get messy, but hey, that's why we do laundry. We wash it, we rinse it, and we rebuild because it's our duty to reclaim and control the narratives that are associated with our experience. So with that, welcome to Dirty Laundry, y'all. Let's start the pre-wash with Kwame Speaks.
What's going on, brother?
What's the word? What's the word?
What's the daily, man? Listen, we got a lot to talk about on today. We got a couple of things. I want to talk about what's going on over in New York City with Mayor Mandani. And then we also got some stuff going on in New York City as well with some couples goals that we got some stuff to talk about. And then the overall orange monkey that's in the office right now, y'all's president got a little kick in the ass this week with the Supreme Court. So we'll get into that in a little bit. You all right?
Okay. I'm gonna spit.
My bad, bro.
I'm gonna let you know I'm gonna spit my water out, bro. That's cool. You gotta prepare me for stuff like that, bro. The orange monkey.
The orange monkey.
Golly, let's go. Let's get
now,
to it.
As you guys know, there is a major heat dome that's going over the East Coast, specifically with New York. We had it over in California, and then it kind of dragged its way across the nation. But currently, it's over the over New York City. And so New York City is currently trapped in a brutal heat dome with the heat index threatening to spike up to a dangerously disrespectful 112 degrees over the 4th of July weekend. But instead of throwing the city a lifeline, newly minted Mayor Zoran Mandani decided to make a little suggestion, taking to X, the mayor, let me put the thing up there, the mayor practically begged New Yorkers to turn their air conditioners up to a 78 degrees to prevent the city's ancient power grid from giving up the ghost entirely. So he says, New York, it's hot out here. It's hot out there, and the power grid is working overtime to keep us cool. Trying to sound like a man of the people while asking folks to sit in their living rooms tasting their own sweat. Set your AC to 78 degrees, turn off lights, electronics you're not using, and unplug what you can. A stable grid means the AC stays on and lives are saved. Let's ease
and saves them money.
And saves their money. That's basically, well, I mean, yeah, I don't think this is a weird suggestion. A lot of people are looking at it like it's an issue.
I don't think so either.
I mean, but you know, people just want to have a reason to be mad at the Mandani, so it's all good. And his middle name is my name, so kudos to him. But anyway, that's that. Other stuff that's going on. Other stuff that's going on in the big city is that some couples goals. 2 people could be seen with a banner at the very top of the Empire State Building in New York City that reads, "When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace." Take a look.
Oh, dear God, Kira. This guy is getting down on a knee, perhaps proposing to this individual.
Oh, my gosh.
It appears now that one of these protesters has paused at the platform there beneath the full height of the spire, either to position something or to move something, whether there's going to be an additional unfurling or not. We don't know the intention of these people. But if these people can get up to where they are, that raises a host of security questions. And they've seemingly done it, Kira, without any carabiner or belay ropes. Oh, dear God, Kira. This guy is getting down on a knee, perhaps proposing to this individual.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Aaron, I think that's exactly what could be happening. I wish WABC would just move a little bit more around so we could see what he's doing down on his knee. This is crazy.
Well, I would imagine if it's a proposal, it's an elaborate one, and I hope she said yes. But it is undoubtedly going to end in their arrest.
Aaron, I hope this is not Taylor. I hope this is not Taylor.
Okay. The point is,
I got one thing to say. Let me tell you something about this. I got something to say about this. Them people crazy.
And you know it wasn't us. We don't do that type of crazy shit.
Hell
but
no. You can't get a front dude to jump off a porch.
So they were 2 international daredevils, Angela Nakalo and Ivan Kuznetsov, also known as Ivan Burkus, secretly entered the building and climbed the 1,454-foot spire of the Empire State Building. They unfurled a pro-peace banner. The guy proposed, it was a proposal, and they were subsequently arrested and charged with felonies. They were booked on felony charges, including burglary, reckless endangerment, and criminal mischief, but were granted supervised release pending their next court date.
Yeah,
so,
who nuts off? That's such a good name for him. Who's nuts off? I can understand that.
Speaking of nuts, the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court rejected the issue that was going on, the birthright citizenship. The Supreme Court just put a massive roadblock in front of Trump's agenda, officially striking down his controversial executive order that tried to end birthright citizenship. In a 10-6-3 decision for the case, Trump versus Barbara, the highest court in the land made it clear that you can't just pen an executive order to erase over a century of constitutional law. For many, this ruling is a massive sigh of relief, protecting a foundational right that has anchored vulnerable families for generations. Trump didn't waste any time launching this battle, signing the directive on the very first day of his second term as a cornerstone of his aggressive immigration crackdown. The goal was to stop automatically giving American citizenship to babies born on U.S. soil if their parents were undocumented or here temporarily. The administration tried to argue they were just correcting the interpretation of the law, but the highest court in the land wasn't buying the flip. So there's that.
Now, you know, like, I'm gonna keep it real with you, and this is why my show is what it is, right? I need our people to really understand that, you know, that's war strategy. They can't have certain people being born on the soil. But we're gonna get into that. Go ahead. I ain't gonna go. Do you think?
No, you're good. No. But I mean, listen, this is not a surprise to me. I actually was a little bit surprised with the decision, but it's not a surprise that they were going to attack this particular situation. So, you know, I it is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. But my problem that I have is the shock, or not the shock, but the pundits on the right that keep coming after the situation, saying that there's this conspiracy, or running with this conspiracy, that people are just coming onto U.S. soil, having babies, and then just to have them documented, and so they can pull resources for the family. That doesn't make any sense.
It's a war strategy, man. It is.
It doesn't make any sense. They don't ever provide any proof. They don't ever show any statistics. And then when we show them statistics from their own stuff, from their own sources, from their own administration, they get mad. Because it's like, well, that's not to be trusted. But you said that we should trust the statistics and the documentation. This is what y'all said. Wild. That's all I got for you, bro.
Hey, man, I appreciate you bringing me the hotness from the streets, and I appreciate you, man. Let's go ahead and jump into this spin cycle, shall we?
All right, man. Enjoy the show.
Hey, thank you, man. All right, y'all. Based on what you just heard, you already know. You know what I'm going to talk about. This is part 3 of the series, The Colonizer. It's right in front of you. I mean, it literally is right in front of you. Figuratively, metaphorically, actually, physically, and all of that. The Colonizer, part 3. It's right in front of you. I must admit, I cringe whenever people attempt to dismiss or minimize the historical atrocities inflicted upon Black people in the United States. I got to admit that. Progressive talking points such as, I never owned a slave, or you guys just want to be victims, or get over it. It was a long time ago, or not historically, or not only historically inaccurate, they are profoundly dismissive. They do more harm than many are willing to acknowledge. And I think we really need to unpack this. So sit back, get your popcorn, and enjoy the show. Run that clip for me, please.
Oh, now, as to you, poor devils. So as I see it, when it comes to the subject of what to do next, gentlemen have 2 choices. 1, once I'm gone, you could lift that beast off the remaining speck, then carry him to the nearest town, which would be at least 37 miles back the way you came. Or 2, you could unshackle yourselves, take that rifle, put a bullet in his head, bury the 2 of them deep, and then make your way to a more enlightened area of this country. Choice is yours. Oh, and on the off chance there are any astronomy aficionados amongst you, the North Star is that one. Ta-da.
Now, wait a minute, fellas. Let's talk about this. You got to be reasonable in a situation like this. I'm not a bad guy. I'm just doing my job. Blueberry, didn't I give you my last apple? Tell you what, boys. Take me to the dock in El Paso. I'll get you your freedom. No, please.
Do you hear what the rhetoric was? Like, hey, I literally had y'all in chains, and you know what? Just forget about what literally just happened. Didn't I just give you my last apple? It kind of sounds like this. It's the equivalent of telling a rapist their victim, a rapist victim, or a rapist telling their victim to move on because the assault happened years ago. The passage of time does not erase trauma. ladies and gentlemen. The passage of time does not erase trauma. I mean, you got things like your central nervous system that hasn't restored. You got a whole bunch of stuff that's going on with the residual effects of slavery, right? All right. The person who endured the experience would likely beg to differ. So why should African Americans be expected to simply forget the centuries of brutality, exploitation, displacement, segregation, and systemic oppression that shaped their existence in this country? I mean, how soon should we get over it? I mean, for God's sakes, desegregation was less than 100 years ago. We still haven't recovered from the effects of crack. I mean, Ronald Reagan did fight a war in Nicaragua, and ironically, crack got pumped into our neighborhoods. But let's not go too far into that, or should we? What many fail to understand is that trauma has residual effects. The wounds of history do not disappear, ladies and gentlemen, simply because the headlines change. The descendants of those who suffered still navigate institutions, systems, perceptions, and realities that were built during those very eras of oppression. Yet when Black Americans express concerns, we are often told that we should be grateful that things aren't as bad as they once were. Grateful? Should I be grateful for that? I mean, do we tell the Jewish people to forget the Holocaust? I mean, because that was kind of like almost the same time that desegregation happened. But we know that's not the truth. Grateful that our ancestors built enormous portions of the nation's wealth without compensation? Grateful that generations of Black families were denied access to land, education, housing, and economic opportunity? I mean, redlining. Grateful that people who helped build the land of the free are still fighting for equal treatment within it. Does that sound right to you? My experience tells me that oppression never truly disappeared. It evolved, it adapted, it rebranded itself. What once was openly called segregation now often hides behind sophisticated language. What was once overt exclusion now presents itself as inclusion while maintaining many of the same outcomes. That is the purpose of this series. That's why I do this show. This is not about hatred. I want y'all to get that out your mind. It's not about hatred, right? Because race is a new phenomenon. I'm going to keep reinforcing that to y'all. What I intend to unpack is how a certain demographic of people act and have acted culturally. What is their culture? This is not about hatred. This is not about revenge. This is a wake-up call, especially to Black people, because for some strange reason, we still be shocked. This is a wake-up call for everyone willing to examine reality honestly. Who cares if one Black person becomes one Black person? Who cares if one Black person becomes wealthy, right? If that individual's success is constantly used to invalidate the struggle of millions, and an exception does not erase a pattern. Just because one person made it, you're really a credit to your race. What does that mean? Race is a team sport. A success story does not eliminate a history. I firmly believe that it is our responsibility, and I say this all the time, to reclaim and control the narratives surrounding our experiences. But that cannot happen until we are willing to confront reality in real time. Okay? We cannot solve problems we refuse to acknowledge. We cannot build a future while pretending the foundation beneath us is not cracked. That's shaky. You can't build a strong foundation on shaky ground. The first step towards liberation is truth. Okay? The first step towards liberation is truth. And the truth is still standing right in front of us. I just don't think people want to be honest about it. But it's okay. It's okay. Run the clip for me, please.
For many Black families impacted by the so-called urban renewal policies of the 1960s and 70s, it wasn't just their homes that were taken. It was also their businesses and their livelihoods. The government took ownership of privately owned real estate for public purposes in exchange for, quote unquote, fair compensation. After the land was cleared, local governments sold it to real estate developers at below market prices, destroying whatever equity the original Black owners had built in the property and forcing another generation to start all over again.
Why can't you guys just get over it? Oh, man, come on. We're in 2026. Everything is different. We're going to unpack this stuff when we come back from commercial break, y'all.
This is Tammy from Tammy's Take, and you're watching Pyro Media Network.
Hey, it's Dr. Nicole D. Vick from Dr. Victorious, and you're watching Pyro Media Network.
Black mama still crying on TV. These young brothers still dying on TV. Crackers on the camera still lying on TV. 3% rappers might put it on the CD. And our leaders, most of them speechless. How you gonna preach when you ain't trying to reach it?
Oh my God, what is wrong with Black people? Why can't they just get over it? Why can't they just act civilized? Why can't they just be moral people? You guys don't build anything. We don't need you. We're over the Black experience. The kids are ghetto, whether spoken directly or implied through policy, media, and public disclosure. These are some of the messages Black people have been forced to hear for generations. But let's talk about reality, right? I like to, that's why I do this show. The reason why I do this show is to raise the awareness of everybody listening. It's not just, a racial impartiality, right? This is not, because I'm going to constantly reinforce this to my listener, that race is a new phenomenon. We never did things based upon race. You do things based upon culture. And what has been the culture of Europeans in the Americas? I mean, it's white in front of you. Don't you see it? Don't you see what it is? Okay, check this out. Coming out of slavery, despite every obstacle imaginable, Black people built thriving communities. I mean, like, we got Tulsa, you got Rosewood, you got Hayti, you have Durham, North Carolina, you have East St. Louis, and countless other communities. We built businesses, we built schools, we built churches, we built entire economic ecosystems under conditions that would have broken many people. I mean, for God's sakes, somebody fled a whole entire continent fleeing unfair taxation and unfair rule, and established a country and said that they founded it. It was found. Think about that. Remember the song that said, things that make you go, right? Yet somehow, many of those communities became victims of forces larger than themselves. I know what some people are already thinking. I can hear it right now. It's like, I can hear it. I can hear your thoughts. Here come the excuses. Because, white people think that we have excuses. And I'm not going to say all white people. I can't speak about all white people, right? But what I will say is that the system, the Roman Jesuit priesthood that we're in, categorizes people as certain things. And we deal with something called classism. Right? So even though every white person didn't own a slave, it really doesn't matter, because if you took a history class, you have no choice but to be complicit. Otherwise, you need to turn in your white card. So when people say, here come the excuses, what excuses? Are you talking about these facts that we keep spitting on you? Redlining was a real thing. Gentrification is a real thing. Inordinate school funding is a real thing. Hold on. Black codes, real thing. Sharecropping, real thing. Leasing people's labor, real thing. They call it peonage. They still do it in Texas to this day. They said, all the old inmates is getting old. They leaving. So we need some young people. Who do you think fuels the machine? Come on. I know the rhetoric, right? 13% of the population is doing 50% of the crimes. Listen to how dumb that sounds. We don't even inhabit all the areas, right? So it's impossible for 13% across the whole entire nation to be perpetuating all the crimes. And where do you think black on black crime is going to happen if we've been regulated to only black areas? It's going to happen with other black people. Or we can move to some different areas and then we won't have black on black crime. If you catch my drift. But doesn't white on white crime happen in white communities? Don't white people commit crimes against other white people, especially if they live amongst each other? And here's the thing that I always wrestle with, right? So we get categorized as doing black on black crime, right? Intertribal wars happen all the time, ladies and gentlemen, right? But what happens is when the Germanic wars happen and people in Germany have a fight with Romans, we call that war. We don't call it white on white crime. What about school shootings? Pedophilia. Is that considered crime? Oh, we haven't even exposed the Epstein files yet. Those things have been suppressed. And to my knowledge, it's some pretty prominent people on that damn list. So, in the words of Kendrick Lamar, miss me with that bullshit, okay? But facts aren't excuses, right? Urban renewal is a fact. Mill Creek, anybody? Right? The destruction of Mill Creek in St. Louis is a fact. The construction of highways through historically black communities is a fact. The disruption of communities in Durham, North Carolina is a fact. The destruction of Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I went there myself, talked to some of the descendants of what actually happened, touched the buildings myself. They built a nice little museum to highlight that. But that's actually something that happened. And there's a ginormous, big-ass highway running right through the district. Oh, it's beautiful. People say, oh, I talked to somebody today who was at the gas station. He was like, oh, my God, it was so informative. It was so, oh, my God, I never knew that about it. I never knew that about it. Instead of shame, I won't expose this person's specific ethnic proclivity, but instead of shame, he was like, oh, my God. It was so amazing. What was amazing about the United States actually bombing a community of thriving black people? And that's not something that's made up, because I got receipts. I went and talked to the people, boots on the ground myself. Did y'all know that they lied about it? The reason why the black boy was so close to the white girl is because that was his girlfriend. She was an orphan living with his parent, his mom. But our moms always gave suckling to their children, to you guys' children. We always did that. And that's not a diss, that's just the truth. We always warmed your beds. We always were the free labor. I'm trying to figure out how people that came up with a song, "We Shall Overcome One Day and Someday," who built thriving communities no matter amidst being hung and fed to alligators. Somehow the narrative says that these people are lazy. These people are making excuses. These people are doing all of that. It sounds like it's white in front of you. The facts are white in front of you. Okay, the displacement of Black families across America through redevelopment projects is a fact. I mean, if we start talking about the Pruitt-Igoe in St. Louis and how they moved those people from the Pruitt-Igoe, the government came out and declassified the files and said that they moved these people and were doing experiments on them, and they moved to North County, and there's a documentary out called Spanish Lake. You should really check it out. Move these people to Spanish Lake, and as soon as Black people moved in, the white people moved out. It's called white flight, ladies and gentlemen. And now when you look at North County as an area in St. Louis, there aren't any businesses. The area is going down, and somebody's going to say, hey, Black people just carry poverty with them wherever they go. I call bullshit. Now, some people will say this. None of that was malicious. Those were just infrastructure projects. Coincidences happen. But were they? All right. So if we go to Clayton, or if we go to other places where they said we're gonna do eminent domain, we're gonna do urban, we're gonna run a highway through your stuff. They said, hell no, you're not gonna do that in our neighborhood. When white people get together and they really don't want something to happen, you either going to war, somebody getting killed, or somebody gonna carry your ass to death. They telling, and I want you to know that. Yet we're expected to believe that the repeated destabilization of Black communities was simply accidental. Black people just can't get it together. Does that sound right to you? I'm saying any person that's not cognitively delayed, does that really sound right to you? White or Black, does that sound right to you? For example, if I say, you know what, I'm going to give you there's a difference between enabling a person and empowering a person. And here's the difference. They sound kind of similar, right? All right. So if I disenfranchise your communities, if I destabilize your community, right? And we call this a race because race is applicable to racing for wealth. Remember that, right? You started as Black people, we started the race in free market capitalism behind. So that's the equivalent of the white establishment getting like a 4-lap head start. We're not going to talk about Reconstruction. We could talk about the land grab and how much free stuff was given. We could talk about the GI Bill, how Black people came back from the war and didn't get that. But those things are excuses rather than facts, right? I don't think so. I think that it's by design. I think that we really are at war. I think that it's not a coincidence that the population of Black people is at 13%. I don't think it's a coincidence that South Africans are getting a fucking care package to come into this country right now. They giving them like America the Great. South Africans are being discriminated against in South Africa. I got an interview right now where they'll tell you in South Africa that that's a farce. The Black people will tell you that. Look up somebody named Von Liebig, I think. I don't quote me on that. I'll have that information for you on the next show. But he came and settled in the land and said, you know what? I like this motherfucker and I'm just going to stay here. Colonization is not just limited to the continent of Africa. Colonization is also redlining. Redlining and colonization is the same thing. Now, trip off this. After nearly 400 years of chattel slavery, followed by segregation, Black codes, Jim Crow laws, excluded from wealth building programs, and discriminatory housing policies, blockbusting, shit like that, right? The continued disenfranchisement of Black communities is just random by chance. You gonna try to what? You're trying to sell me some strong ass dope. Oh, that's right. We already got crack dumped into our neighborhood. Opioid crisis. Oh my God. Our children need therapy. Crack criminalized. You going to jail for 15, 20 years. Cocaine, smaller sentence. Crack, larger sentence. You hear where this is going? You see what's white in front of you? I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm making this shit up. Maybe I'm not smart enough to be able to disseminate what the truth is and what's an excuse, especially for our people. That's a difficult argument to accept for me, right? And whenever these observations are raised, the response is often the same. You're playing the victim. No. I'm not playing the victim. I'm recognizing a pattern is not victimhood. Me recognizing a pattern is not victimhood. And they try to categorize it. It's trying to be categorized as that all the time. But y'all know what the truth is. And especially Black people need to know what the truth is. Recognizing a pattern is not victimhood, but it'll get labeled that. Studying history is not victimhood. Examining cause and effect is not victimhood. The reality is that many of the consequences of redlining, white flight, disinvestment, and economic segregation are still visible today. Businesses leave, tax bases shrink, schools suffer, infrastructure deteriorates, opportunities become scarce. Then the very communities that were deprived of resources are blamed for the outcomes. Are you seeing a pattern? Are you noticing a pattern, anybody? Like I'm not Black, I'm brown, and from the boogie down. White people aren't white. That's a classification. And if you concede that is a classification, then somebody deliberately put us into classifications. Somebody actually put us in certain boxes. And if they were strategic enough to do that, then surely what I'm talking about is not victimhood. I'm talking about strategies of war, ladies and gentlemen. That is precisely what this series is about. See, what it is about survival for them, right? It's about survival. When you hear any white supremacist talk, they always talking about the purity of the white race. Get out of our country. This is our shit. If you can't get down, you either gonna lay down or get the fuck out. You see what I'm talking about? This is culture. It's not hatred. It's not revenge. It's not excuses. This is not excuses. This exposure. I'm exposing y'all ass. I'm exposing the system. Now, my thing is can anybody tell me where an Afro-Asiatic people went across the globe and said, you need to change your culture, change your God, change the food that you eat, change the area that you live in? Show me that. You can't say Genghis Khan. He was a Mongoloid. He wasn't a Negroid. There are only 3 classifications of people: Negroid, Caucasoid, and Mongoloid. And I can't seem to think about any Negroid that went across continents and said, either you're going to follow our way of doing shit as civilized, or we're going to kill your ass. We're going to move your people to a whole nother area of the planet. Because it's all about survival, ladies and gentlemen. Black people, stop being surprised when white people do white stuff. And when I say white, I'm saying the white establishment, because I'm not saying that all white people are like that. But guess what? There are poisonous snakes, and then there are venomous snakes. If we throw them all into a barrel together, I'm not going to stick my hand in there to get the one that's not poisonous. In the words of Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, that makes sense. I always talk about culture. Why can't they respect cultures without dominating those cultures? A closer look at the systems. Here's the thing. This is a closer look at the systems. This is a closer look at the decisions and historical realities that shape the world we live in today. Everybody, not just Black people. Because if we refuse to understand how we arrived here, we'll never understand where we're going. This is the colonizer. And my challenge to you is simple. Look honestly at the evidence. Because sometimes the thing we're searching for isn't hidden. It's white in front of you. Run that clip, dog.
All of us shut down. And she got where she didn't talk about anything. So we didn't know what was going on because she wouldn't speak it. And my daddy was there, but he could not let us know what was going on either. So it was really hard. The next thing that we knew that we were moving. My parents were hurt and disappointed. Finally, my dad said he had to go work at the mountains where he could make more money. But things didn't work out as well as he thought, and he wasn't able to make as much. So my dad and my mama did the same thing. And so I was left with my older sister and brother. The family splits up. My younger brother and sisters, they were, went with aunts and uncles until my daddy came back. But at that time I was graduating, so.
My parents were thriving. People worked hard on their property, and we had to go. We had to leave our homes and struggle to find other places.
We were the last family to leave Lillintown. So I witnessed everybody that lived in Lillintown at that time move. It was like a ghost town.
I'm saying, y'all know I bring the receipts. See, I don't want nobody to tell me that Kevin, this is racial, KO, this is racial rhetoric. Hey, no. We're not going to even talk race. We're going to talk culture. We're going to talk systems. We're going to talk patterns. We're going to talk all of that. We're not even going to do race because race, it's ridiculous. For me to call anybody a white person, that means they look like a t-shirt, a white tee. And you trying to tell me I look like a black tee. But check this out. Now it's time to check the facts. So, here are the facts. Black people came out of slavery with virtually nothing. No land grants, no reparations, no inheritance, no wealth to pass down. Yet despite that reality, Black Americans built thriving communities throughout the country, and that's a fact. Greenwood, Tulsa, destroyed in 1921, the massacre, later fragmented by urban renewal and highway construction. Is that a coincidence? Deep Deuce, Oklahoma City, urban renewal and interstate construction displaced residents. Hayti District, Durham, Interstate 147 cut through the heart of the community. Brooklyn, Charlotte, urban renewal displaced over 1,000 families and hundreds of businesses. Paradise Valley in Detroit, cleared for highways and redevelopment. Black Bottom, Detroit, destroyed through urban renewal and freeway construction. Mill Creek Valley, St. Louis, one of the nation's largest urban renewal clearances. You love the arts, don't you? Highway 70 run right through that mud. And Mill Creek, just a fun fact, is the birthplace of ragtime. Scott Joplin, Josephine Baker used to frequent that area. So let's not play games. Rondo, St. Paul, Interstate 94 split the community in half. Fillmore District, Harlem of the West. San Francisco, thousands displaced through urban renewal. Western Addition, San Francisco, massive displacement through urban renewal. Central Avenue Corridor, Los Angeles, redevelopment and freeway construction. Sugar Hill, Los Angeles, redevelopment and freeway impacts. Overton, Miami, Interstate 95 displaced thousands. Tampa Central Ave District in Tampa, interstate construction damaged the business district. Bronzeville, Chicago, urban renewal and public housing policies altered the community. Near West Side Black communities, Chicago, university and highway expansion displaced residents. Indiana Ave, Black Wall Street, Indianapolis, destroyed through expansion projects. Russell, Williams District in Portland, hospital expansion displaced Black families. Albina, Portland, highway and redevelopment displacement. Treme, New Orleans, Interstate 10, cut through the neighborhood. Claiborne Corridor, New Orleans, Expressway, destroyed business district. Fourth Ward, Nashville, urban renewal clearances. Mechanicsville, Atlanta, highway and redevelopment impacts. Buttermilk Bottom, Atlanta, cleared through urban renewal. Auburn Avenue Corridor, Atlanta, fragmented by interstate construction. I know this for a fact because I lived in Atlanta. Lake Lanier, they built a whole lake over the top of a community. And when I say they, you know who the hell I'm talking about. Jackson Ward, Richmond, Interstate 95, cut through the neighborhood. Vine City, Atlanta, stadium and redevelopment displacement. You can't tell me that because I lived in Vine City. They are actually rezoning Vine City as we speak as Buckhead. They took a portion of it and they're rezoning it as Buckhead. If I'm lying, I'm flying, and I ain't grew no damn wings. East Liberty, Pittsburgh, urban renewal, altered the community. Hill District, Pittsburgh, arena and highway projects displaced thousands. Black Bottom, Nashville, urban renewal, removal. Asheville, Black business district. Asheville, hundreds of acres cleared through urban renewal. I mean, I could keep going. I see, this is not victimhood. See, people be like, oh my God, this is some victim shit. No, these is receipts. You know what? You know what I do? I tell people all the time, call me a liar. Go look the shit up. And when you come back with the information, white or black, you tell me if this is victimhood or not. If Black communities weren't capable of creating wealth, businesses, and stable neighborhoods, why were so many of most prosperous Black communities in America repeatedly targeted for demolition and clearance and division? You tell me if is that like a coincidence? Oh shit! It's better for everybody. Is that what it is? Maybe I'm tripping, and maybe I'm not, but it's okay. Run the clip.
Can we talk about gerrymandering? Here's everything you need to know about gerrymandering. In America, politicians don't just campaign for votes. Sometimes they draw the districts so that they can win before you even show up, and that's called gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is when political district boundaries are intentionally drawn to give one party or group an advantage. The name comes from 1812 when Massachusetts Governor Elbridge Gerry approved a district so twisted it looked like a salamander. The newspaper joked and called it a gerrymander, and, well, the rest is history. There are two main ways it's done. Packing is putting as many of the opposing party's voters as possible into one district so their influence is limited everywhere else. And cracking is splitting those voters across several districts so that they can't win any of them. There are two flavors of gerrymandering. Partisan gerrymandering benefits one political party over another, and racial gerrymandering dilutes the voting power of racial or ethnic groups. That's illegal under the Voting Rights Act, but recent court rulings have weakened some protections. Every 10 years after the census, new maps are drawn. That's when gerrymandering happens. In some states, the politicians in power draw the maps. In others, independent commissions do it. If politicians draw their own maps, they can lock in power for a decade, even if most voters don't support them statewide. Gerrymandering shapes who represents you. It shapes what laws get passed, and it shapes whether your community's voice matters. If you care about fair elections, watch the maps, because sometimes the real power isn't in the ballot box, it's in the lines around it.
Oh my God. That sounds like some victimhood shit. I almost spit up my own water because y'all know that's not victimhood. Them called receipts, everybody. Those are receipts. So, do you see a pattern yet? Is it strategy? Are wars fought this way? Not everything is better now. No. Everything is better now. What are you guys talking about? My people never owned a slave. Shit. People repackage their products all the time. Don't mean it's not the same product. What are you guys complaining about? We're in 2026. This doesn't exist. Let's go to commercial and come back.
Hey, it's Pastor Kim from It's Just Kim Live Show, and you're watching Pyro Media Network.
The news is divided. Ground News puts it back together, with coverage from thousands of outlets around the world in one place. So you can spot sensational reporting, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. Beside every headline, you'll see who owns the source, how reliable it is, and if they have a political bias. Multiple perspectives side by side, giving you a well-rounded view of today's biggest stories. Visit ground.news to learn more.
Hey, how y'all doing? Real quick, this is Daryl Walter, host of the Daryl Walter Show. I know. And you are watching Pyro Media Network.
Black mama still crying on TV. These young brothers still dying on TV. Crackers on the camera still lying on TV. 3% rappers might put it on the CD. And our leaders, most of them speechless. How you gonna preach when you ain't trying to reach us?
And now it's time for the rinse cycle with our book of the week. That's the clothesline. We're not putting it on the clothesline yet. We're rinsing it out. Let's rinse it out. Let's not put it on the clothesline. Let's rinse it out. Let's rinse it out. Let's just rinse it out with the book of the week. All right. Today's book of the week is the 1619 Project by Nicole Hannah Jones. Right? The #1 New York Times bestseller, NAACP Image Award winner. This book is a dramatic expansion of a groundbreaking work of journalism, the 1619 Project. A new origin story offers a profoundly revealing vision of the American past and the present. Y'all should go check that out. If you want to hear more about what I'm talking about and what we inked, this is what they call critical race theory. Please get this book. It is very profound, okay? And now it's time for us to air this shit out and put it on the clothesline. Yeah. Listen, check this out. Y'all want to hear some of what we call real talk. You want to hear what we call what the urban colloquialism that we use called real talk? Check this out. Everything that I told y'all, these are not myths. These are historical events. Americans alive today remember redlining. Many Americans alive today witnessed white flight. The effects of those policies did not disappear because a law changed. The question isn't whether Black people have overcome obstacles. To assert that is completely disingenuous. We clearly have. The question is why communities that repeatedly demonstrated resilience, entrepreneurship, and self-sufficiency were so often disrupted, displaced, and underfunded or destroyed. If someone repeatedly trips over the same obstacle, it isn't weakness to ask why the obstacle remains in the path. What I am exposing in this series is not a conspiracy theory that is fueled by race. I'm not doing that. This is not a conspiracy that has race at the forefront of it. I'm just exposing a historical pattern, For Black people, this is about remembering who you are. It's about reclaiming and controlling the narrative associated with our experience. Because if we refuse to control our story, someone else will control it for us. Isn't that obvious? Think about it. And when you begin connecting the dots, when you start putting shit together, you may discover that the thing you've been searching for isn't hidden at all, y'all. It's right in front of you. Stop feeding the programming and create your own. You see this hat? Check out the BRCC. I'm a part of a secret club called the Black Republic. And if you want to be a part of that club, look us up. The BRCC, the Black Republic. Check us out. Stop feeding the programming and create your own. Once again, and check this out. I want y'all to understand this. And once again, don't forget to take your life off spin cycle. Good night, y'all.
What up, everybody? This your boy KO. If you want to follow my content and see more of the interviews, you can follow me at IAMAKING Studios on Instagram or the same thing on YouTube. Hey, you never know where I'm going to pull up next. Get at your boy. I might speak.
Thank you for watching Pyro Media Network. For more information, please visit pyromedianetwork.com.